Appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, it is fantastic to have each and every one of you. My gosh, they continue to pile on. And so it's great to have each and every one of you. I see a lot of names that we've known for years, some of you that have followed us for years, but then I see a lot of new names. So those of you that may be attending one of our live webinars for the very first time. Queen, I'm hearing some background noise. So there you go. So welcome to our webinar. Now, Thursday night is our training night. But I'm fully aware when I see all these new names that we may have some folks that have just aligned with THW Global. Maybe you haven't aligned just yet. You're wanting to figure out what this stuff is all about. Do me a favor. In your questions box, if you are not yet a part of THW Global, or maybe you just joined today or yesterday, you really don't know what you joined. It was free, so you just joined. So if you're either not a part of THW Global or you just joined but you don't know what the heck is going on, in your questions box, you can open it up. I think it's to your bottom right. Just put either no or in. All right. No, I'm not a part, or no, I don't know what the heck is going on. I want to see that number, because if we've got a sufficient enough number, I'll take just a few minutes to give you a very quick. Oh, got a bunch of those, huh? Oh, wow. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So this is what I'm going to do. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take about 10 hot minutes, no more than 15, to give you a very quick rundown about THW Global. 1. 2, you're going to want to make sure that if you haven't registered yet, that you get back to the person that referred you to the webinar on tonight. And then we're going to spend the rest of the time talking about training and how we're going to build out THW Global. So give me just a moment. I don't have slides up because I was not planning on going this route, but when I see all these folks on the webinar, give me a moment. So let's go over real quickly. All right. Queen, if you're still with me, I want you to time me no more than 15 minutes on this section, please. All right. All right. So here's the bottom line. All right. Here's the bottom line, ladies and gentlemen. There are advertising, all right, is a huge business. All right. Right now it's a $650 billion a year industry. Soon it'll be $1 trillion a year industry. And so you've got models, let's say like YouTube. Now, let's remember, who's ever paid to have a YouTube channel? Nobody, right? So we all joined YouTube for free, or Facebook, or LinkedIn, or Twitter, okay? Now, what these social media giants did was they built these huge user bases. Okay, huge user bases, and people could join for free, so it kind of went viral. And then as people go in to watch YouTube videos, or they go in to connect with their high school friends in Facebook or what have you, there are these ads, there are advertisers. And these could be small businesses, these could be medium-sized businesses, this could be big, huge businesses that are advertising their goods, their products, their services on these mediums. YouTube, for instance, is worth $70 billion. Yes, Queen. Uh-oh. Yes, I did. Ah, you proud of me? Yes, I did. Okay. Yes, we are recording. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Ooh. Okay. Thank you. Okay. So now, real quickly. So YouTube is worth $70 billion to Google. Now, what's Google? It's free, right? When you open up your Gmail account, it didn't cost you anything. All right. You go to Google, which, by the way, does Google have a drop dead sexy site? No. It's really plain Jane. Okay. But, you know, Google is, any given day in the U.S., she's either 1 or number 2 in terms of market capitalization, fighting between she and Apple. Okay, big, huge company, Google. YouTube is, if it stood on its own, is a $70 billion giant. And if YouTube stood on its own, only 66 other companies in the S&P, the Standard & Poor's 500, would be larger than YouTube. Now, let's get this. Free to join, free to join. They get all these users, and then they serve up ads. So you go, you watch a video goes viral, and there's an ad there. And then you got the ads up to the top right-hand side, so on and so forth. I even saw one video where I was watching the video, and then embedded in the video was an ad, you know, several minutes into the video. And so you're like, well, darn, I got to watch the ad because I want to finish watching the video. All right, now take a look at Twitter, for instance. Twitter, $641 million just from advertising. All right, just from advertising. And that was in the fourth quarter. That was in the one quarter, ladies and gentlemen, 1 3-month period, $640 million from advertising. And now, certainly the behemoth out there, Facebook, if you look down here, ad revenue jumped 57% in the first quarter of this year, first 3 months of this year, to $5.2 billion with a B dollars. $5.2 billion in a 3-month time frame. That's up from $3.3 billion last year, the same time. So here's the thing. Advertising is huge, 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 huge business. All right. Now, if a company wanted to come out and they wanted to get some of this advertising market share, yes, there have been companies like Instagram, and yes, there's been Pinterest, and yes, there's been a few social media networks that have come out. But if a company really wanted to come out and take this advertising industry by storm, could they do exactly what Facebook did? Could they do exactly what YouTube did? Probably not. Why? Because Facebook already has so much of the market share, 1.6 billion users across the globe. YouTube already has so much market share, the number 3 most visited site in the world. Google number 1, Facebook number 2, YouTube number 3. Okay, so if a company wanted to step into this space and make a mark, they would have to be an innovator. They'd have to do something differently than just say, oh, just register for free and connect with some friends, or maybe take some pictures, and we'll be able to compete, you know, at some point with the big boys, or we'll be able to maybe not even compete with the big boys, but with $5.2 billion, if we can get just a little piece of that pie, what could that mean for the company? Now, here's what they've decided to do, okay? Give me a moment. What they've decided to do is they're taking from the free model. So we still have the free model. I'll tell you what, let's do this real quickly. Another form of advertising is Google pay-per-click or Yahoo pay-per-click or what have you. This is where advertisers are paying to, you know, the ads when you go to Google and you type in personal injury lawyer, and then you've got these ads there. Well, there are people that are paying to be there. And some of those folks, when I say folks, companies, so on and so forth, they're paying a lot of money. So let's say, like, if you typed in insurance, insurance companies may pay as much as almost $55 just to be there, so that when you click, they get charged as much as $55 for that click. Now, you might be on the site for a minute. You might be on the site for 10 minutes. You may never buy anything. They're paying $55, as much as $55 just to be there. For loan keywords, or if you're thinking about getting a mortgage or second mortgage, they're paying as much as $44.28. All right, so you've got advertising. Advertising is not going anywhere. It's just, it's all around us, ladies and gentlemen. And it's about time that a company got into the advertising space and allowed you and I to actually generate some revenue by doing so. Now let's talk real quickly about TV advertising. Now, here's a challenge with TV advertising. There's $78 billion right now going into TV advertising. But more and more, those advertisers are not getting their message in front of TV watchers. Why? Because you've got systems like Netflix and other on-demand services like Hulu Plus and so on and so forth, where now you can get Netflix and you don't even have to watch the ads. Or you maybe have a DVR where you DVR your favorite show, like I like to do with my NFL football, Go Steelers. I like to DVR the show, the game, only watch it after it's been running for 45 minutes or an hour, so that I can fast forward through all the commercials, because I don't want to watch those commercials. But I tell you what, if Netflix, if YouTube, if Facebook paid us to watch those ads, I would gladly watch those commercials. All right? I wouldn't be able to wait for those commercials to come on. So what we're seeing is there's just billions upon billions of dollars in this ad space. And nobody has really brought this ad space to the home of Joe and Sue Average until THW Global. Now, let me give you my disclaimer real quickly. We've been saying from the onset, is this thing real? All right. Is it crap? Is it a scam? I don't think it's a scam. Will they execute? I hope they will. They might not, but I hope they will. Is it crap or is it gold? All right. We don't know yet. We don't know yet. July 4th is when we're supposed to be able to start watching content. And so anyone who's proclaiming it's crap is premature. Anyone who's claiming it's gold, I think it's also premature. But being very smart business people and going by the adage that we were taught years ago by one of our multimillionaire mentors, a good plan executed today is better than a perfect plan executed tomorrow. So because there is no financial risk, you're setting up an account for free, just like you would if you were setting up a Facebook account, a YouTube account, a Pinterest account, so on and so forth. Since there's no financial risk and we're not coming out of pocket with anything, we're saying, well, let's go on. Let's do our due diligence. Let's get as much information as we can, but let's go on and register. And let's even get other folks registered. Because if it is gold, there's a lot of money that can be made. So very quickly, and then we'll get into our training. All right. So what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to view and comment on commercials, TV pilot programs, movie trailers, video surveys, and much more. And you'll be able to do that for as much as 10 hours a week. Depending on the part of the world that you're in, you'll earn up to $25 an hour. In some countries where the minimum wage or the average wage is lower, it'll be probably lower than the $25 an hour. But relative to, let's say in the U.S. where it might be $25 an hour, well, if you're in the Dominican Republic, you're probably paying a lot less to live there, meaning the cost of goods and services are a lot less, or the standard of living there is a lot less. So even if it's $10 an hour in the Philippines, for instance, that's still a huge wage for the average person. I know, for instance, in one of the Caribbean islands that I love and frequent, that some people work really hard all day for $15 a day, 8, 9, 10 hours in the sun. So if all of a sudden they could spend a couple hours a day and maybe make more than what they make right now, that is a huge deal. Okay, so here's the deal. You can make $25 an hour, up to $25 an hour viewing content. That means up to roughly $250 a week. That means up to roughly $1,000 a month. Just think about all of the people out there that an extra $1,000, what would that do for most people? And given the fact, and I don't know if you're here because you're looking for a part-time job, or if you're here because you're a marketer and you've been trying to break this internet marketing code. How do I start making money on the internet? I had a conversation with someone today. Man, they've been at this internet thing for years and years and years, and they haven't cracked the code yet. And so they're excited, though they're cautious, they're excited. Man, if this thing winds up being what they say it's going to be, I'm going to finally be able to make some money. Okay, so now we'll talk more about a little bit more of the compensation in just a few moments. Now, if you're brand new and you've never signed up for THW Global, make sure you connect with the person that referred you so that you can get registered. It's not going to cost you anything to become a registrant. You might as well register. It's as simple as signing up for a Facebook account or what have you. All right, now, with that being said, let's get into our training. And for those of you that are already with THW Global and you already understood all that good stuff, thank you for your patience, okay? All right, the first thing I want to do before we get into the training, I want to just cover a news bulletin. For those of you that already have your sites, when you go into your back office now, I forget exactly what they called it. I don't know if it was a message center or something to that effect. So now if you're not getting emails for whatever reason, of course, more than 300,000 people have registered in just 2 weeks, so that can certainly put a lot of strain and stress on an email system. You can go in your back office now and things that have been sent out by email, you'll find them back there. It's message retrieval or message center or what have you. Make sure you go back there because it talks about what to expect on July 4th. What's going to happen is we'll be directed to an initial demographic survey. All right, so we'll need to fill out that survey. Make sure your folks understand that they need to fill out that survey, okay? And this is going to allow THW Advertising to decide what type of content to start sending to us in the future. So it's almost like with Facebook. Facebook asks you for certain demographic information, how young you are, where do you live, where are you from, and then every time you hit one of those little likes, Facebook has an algorithm where it's charting that so that it knows the types of ads to put into your news feed or to put on the right hand side, so on and so forth. So make sure, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, by the way, they said they already have 100 clients that are committed to spending up to $1 million or more to advertise with THW Global. That's huge. That is absolutely huge. And they are looking by 2017 to have over 10 million active IVs. International viewers is what IVs stand for. Now, the beautiful part, Tom, is that you're already here. Ted, you're already here. Sandra, you're already here. Roger, you're already here. Now, what I want to make sure that happens is that you really seize this. Let's assume it's gold for the rest of the webinar. We're going to assume that it's gold. For the rest of the webinar, we're going to assume that they execute. Now, let's give you a little backdrop about myself. I go by Funnel Doc. I started off in this industry in 1994. I just want to give you some foundation for where we're headed, okay? 1994 is when I first got in the industry. I really struggled for the first about 7 years. Made some money, but overall I probably spent a lot more money than what I made. So we struggled, and we finally, about 2001-ish, we started to have a little breakthrough. 2002-ish, it got even better. 2003 was really when we started to have a breakthrough. And then ultimately, we got good at this whole business building thing. Now, at that time, we weren't leveraging the internet so much. We lived in the U.S. at that time, and we were going around, going from city to city to city. I was the presentation and the training guy. Okay, I was the one standing in front of the room doing the dog and pony show, getting people excited, and they would join, and then I'd come in, I'd do training and all that good stuff. Okay, ultimately we came online, and we came online in 2008. The advantage that we had is that we still had some folks that were following us from what we were doing offline, and I was confused when I came online. Even though at that point I had now had some successes in the industry, and some really big successes in the industry, from by like 2003 up to 2008, some really big successes. The problem was when I came online, the principles of building a business were the same, but the methods were radically different, and it was like a deer caught in headlights. And all this stuff about traffic and all this technical stuff was just so over my head. Who can relate to that? If you can relate to that, put a Y in the questions box. It was just so over my head. The one thing that made sense to me, because I was the presenter dude, I was the training dude, was I decided to focus on YouTube. And so instead of me being in front of the room doing the dog and pony show, I was in front of my computer doing PowerPoints and then doing webinars and recording them and trainings and recording them and what have you. So I did really good with that. And then in 2011, I believe it was, there was this new model that came out. Now, at the time, we all thought it was a legitimate model. We didn't know that there were going to be regulatory issues. It's referred to as the revenue sharing model. There was a company out there that really just soared. How many of you know who I'm talking about? That is that company that started with the Z. If you know who I'm talking about, just put a Z in your questions box. Again, I just want to give you some backdrop, okay? Just put a Z in your question box, okay? And we did exceptionally well. Now, this gave us a glimpse of something. Let me tell you why that company did very well. Unfortunately, they didn't dot all the I's, didn't cross all the T's, got into some regulatory problems. But we didn't know that, we didn't know that. But in any event, the reason that company did well is because, and companies like it, all right, did well, is because finally, Joe and Susie Average could make money even if they were not yet good at recruiting, sponsoring, selling, marketing, building a list, communicating with a list, all that other stuff, okay? Now, again, that model did not stand the test of time because the companies didn't dot all the I's, cross all the T's, and there were some regulatory issues that came up. I don't see any regulatory issues with THW, especially when nobody spent any money. All they are doing, ladies and gentlemen, is instead of building this huge user base and generating millions, hundreds of millions, billions of dollars in advertising and putting it in their pocket, like the Facebook dude Zuckerberg, who's worth $40-some billion, and I'm not foo-fooing on that. I mean, that's the entrepreneurial spirit. But the reason he's worth $48 billion is because he's not paying us. He's not paying us. What THW Global is saying, we know we can't be on the level of a Facebook or a YouTube doing business as usual. So what we're going to do is we're going to charge advertisers to put their content in the faces of captive eyes, people that are willing to watch their commercials in hopes, the advertiser in hopes, that we'll buy their products and services. And I will say this, one of the things I want us to do is the promotional content that we're viewing. I want us to patronize, however you say that, those advertisers. Now, don't go spend money that you don't have. Don't go spend money you weren't going to spend. But if you were looking for a dentist anyway, and you get an advertisement about a dentist, well, go to that dentist. All right, if they're in your area. If you were needing to buy some clothes for your children for back to school, and you see an advertisement about back to school, go to their site. All right, because the more these advertisers not only have their content viewed, but the more they see revenue, and I'm assuming there'll be some type of analytics that the company will be able to share with the advertisers about what we're doing for their bottom line. Then the more those advertisers will want to spend, and what's happening simply is THW Global is simply saying, hey, well, we'll pay me. Hey, they'll pay you, Roger. They'll pay you, Samuel. They'll pay you, Tracy, so that you are a captive audience viewing their content. All right, so that model didn't work. That revenue sharing model didn't work from a regulatory standpoint. I don't see any regulatory issues here. But what we caught a glimpse of is that if we can have a model where Joe and Susie average can make money even if they're not yet good at marketing, man, this thing could be explosive. That's why you see THW taking on a viral nature. That's why in 2 weeks' time, over 300,000 folks have already registered. That's why we have teammates that have, 2,000 and 3,000 folks that have registered in their own organizations. Okay. Now, there was a huge disappointment, however. All right. Even though that model back in 2011 or 12 did very well for a spell, it ran into some regulatory issues, as we talked about. And we learned some very valuable lessons. We made a lot of money. Some of our folks made a lot of money. We certainly made more money than we had ever made promoting any specific offer before. But we learned, hey, let's not put all our eggs in one basket. And after that fact, I really went on a quest because I wanted to really take my business to another level. And one of the things that we began to do is we began to invest heavily in mastermind courses, mastermind groups. We've been under the tutelage now of 7-figure and now 8-figure folks, learning what are they doing. Now, many of these folks are not necessarily in the network marketing arena. Some of them started there and kind of graduated. Many of them are now infopreneurs, where they have their own systems, they have their own services, their own products that they offer, so on and so forth. But we've really studied since about 2013 what they've been doing so that we could start to incorporate this in network marketing. I'm a network marketer. I've been one all of my adult life. I love this industry. I love the people in this industry. And I feel like I've got some unfinished business because there's been some folks that have followed me for years and they've not gotten to where they want to get yet. And so what we're doing is we're taking all the tens of thousands of dollars that we've invested in our online education, our mobile marketing education, and we want to turn around and share that information with you. If you've got the resources to do a $5,000 or $10,000 or $20,000 mastermind, go for it. Go do it, okay? But a lot of our folks don't have those resources. Well, we've gone through a lot of those masterminds and we continue, all right? Just like I create a lot of content for our audience, I'm also consuming a ton of content, testing it out, see that it works. Now I can start to share that with you. So here's our objective for you, and we're in training mode. To assist you in building a long-term sustainable business. To assist you in building a long-term sustainable business, get this, with multiple streams of income. What we have discovered with these 7- and 8-figure mentors is they don't just have one stream of income. I want you excited about THW Global. Prayerfully, they come through. And if they come through, fantastic. Okay, well, we should make a ton of money with THW Global. But we're not just going to make all this money with THW Global and not become more entrepreneurial and begin to scale our business. Your business is not THW Global. THW Global is an extension of your business. Your business is you and your following. Make a note of that. I don't have a slide for that one. Your business is you and your following. So 2 weeks ago, when this information comes across our desk, what did I do? I sent out a message to my following. There were several people that responded to that particular message about THW Global. There was one gentleman in particular that responded that when he joined, he then sent out a message to his following because he understands that his business is not THW Global. His business is himself. So he's working on himself and personal development, personal empowerment, reading good books, watching good material, staying away from some of the negative stuff, all right? As much as the negative stuff as you possibly can. Then he sends out a message to his following, and within 24 hours, he had 192 personally enrolled. That's because he understands that his business is not THW Global. If she's goal, yes, we get excited about it. Yes, we're going to make a lot of money with it. But let's understand that THW Global is merely an extension of what should become your own global internet, mobile marketing, business conglomerate. So one of my mentors has like 21 different income streams across multiple niches. So we want to help you build a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches so that you ultimately have the financial and the time freedom to hotly pursue the passions of your heart. This is our, if you want to call this our mission statement, this is it for our following, okay? Multiple streams of income. Let me stop for just a moment. How many of you want multiple streams of income? If you want multiple streams of income, even with THW Global being goal, put an M for multiple streams of income in your questions box. Put an M there. There you go. All right. That's what we're here for, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we're here for. We're going to leverage THW because they answer huge they bring an answer to some major problems that are facing our industry. Namely, most people aren't making money. So the fact that people can make money even without marketing is a major, major healing salve, ointment to the pains and struggles that many folks are facing, not only in our industry, but folks that are just, trying to make a living, trying to keep a roof over their head and food on the table for the kids. Okay. All right. Now, let me give you a quick compensation lesson. We'll get more into our training. All right. So now we should know that you can earn up to $25 an hour. THW is going to allow us to view up to 10 hours of content each week. All right. And so one of the things you want to commit to, one of the things that you want to really make a covenant with is that you're going to max out your viewing income. Because what this means is a person could generate as much as $1,083 a month with no marketing. Someone tell me in your questions box, where did I come up with $1,083? Where did I come up with that? Who knows? Anybody? Are you typing or you just don't know? There you go, Bob. There you go, Terry. There you go, Kim. Doric. There we go. There we go. Now, I want you to make a note of something. See, everybody is out promoting $25 an hour, $25 an hour, $25 an hour, up to $25 an hour. Okay? And nothing wrong with that. One of the things that you want to be able to do is to take a message and make just minor adjustments. It's saying the same thing, but you're saying it just a little differently. So when I first came online, they said, hey, you need to build a list. Okay. They said you need to build a relationship with your list so that you can monetize your list. And I said, okay, well, let me just build a list, build a bond with your list. Am I not saying the same thing? Just a little twist. Just a little twist. So some of you in your promotions, you might want to say, maybe you have a promotion that talks about $25 an hour. Maybe you have a promotion that talks about up to $250 a week. Maybe you have a promotion that talks about up to $1,083 a month. By the way, in marketing, again, this is coming from some of those high-level courses that we took and high-level masterminds. In marketing, a lot of times you want to stay away from even numbers or round numbers, like you can make up to $1,000 a month. Sometimes when you say you can make up to $1,083 a month, then what happens is people say, $1,083, that's odd. And then they may click to find out more about whatever it is that you're talking about. Okay. By the way, since you can make up to $1,083, you might say you can make up to $1,081. Isn't that up to $1,083? You might make up to $1,016.43. All right. My whole point, make a note of that. You're going to want ultimately to take a message and just modify it, just ever so slightly, so it becomes more of your own. All right. All right. Now, so you can make up to $25, up to $250 a week, up to $1,083 a month. Okay, by viewing yourself. And we want you to commit. I'm committing with everything I've got going on. I spend hours a day creating content. The email that I sent out just today, just to send out an email and creating that content and making sure that my links work and all that. I mean, it took me a long time. Preparing for this webinar took a long time. I'm going to make sure that I get my viewing in so that I can, with passion, share with my audience, get your viewing in. Why? Because when you get your viewing in, number one, you max out the amount of money you can make viewing the content. That's number one. Number two, when you refer someone who views content, you earn up to $5 per hour for every hour that they view. They view an hour, you just made up to $5. They view 10 hours a week, you made up to $50 a week. They viewed 40 hours a month, you made up to just over $200 potentially a month for them viewing 40 hours. But because there are months where you got 5 weeks, that's where we came up with that 1,083. We did 52 weeks at a max of 250, divided that by 12, that gave us that 1,083. Okay. All right, so this means that every single person that you ever personally enroll could be worth $200 a month or more to you. And then there's a third way that we get paid, and that is when your referrals begin to refer. Now, there's something called a 10-level unilevel. All right, and what that simply means is, this is you in the green, when anyone that you refer is going to be on your first level. All right. When you view, you're green. When you view, you can make up to $25 an hour, up to $250 a week, up to, let's say, $1,083 a month. When you view, you refer Sharon, Ted, William. You refer Sharon, Ted, William. They view. You make up to $5 per hour that they view. So we want William to view 10 hours so that you make up to $50 there. We want Sharon to view 10 hours so you make up to $50 for the week. And then obviously for the month, up to $200 per person that you personally enroll. Now, anyone that your direct referrals refer would be on your second level. All right. And there's no limit to the number of people you can refer. This demonstrates 3. It could be 3, 300, 3,000. Okay. There's no limit to the amount of people on your second level. No limit to the amount of people on your third level. Obviously, anyone on your second level, when they refer, those folks fall on your third. So now here's the deal. This is really where the huge money can come. And what we're going to do is we're going to use the initial income from viewing. Don't consume that entire seed. If you made $1,083, you weren't making $1,083 before THW, so don't go out and spend all that money on doodads. I know you might need to catch up on some bills. I get that. I want you to commit to a minimum of 50% of your viewing income, as much as 100% of your viewing income, going right back into marketing. And we'll explain what marketing means here in just a few moments. Now, when you do that, that's going to help you. I know you haven't been good at recruiting for most of you just yet. I know you don't have a list. Most of you don't have a list or don't have much of a list. I know that. And one of the reasons is you've not necessarily had the resources to invest in the tools, the resources, and the advertising that would allow you to build a list. Well, now that goes away if you view your 10 hours. Now you're bringing in up to $1,083. If you're in the Philippines, if you're in the Dominican Republic, if you're in Malaysia, if you're in places where maybe you don't make as much, that's okay. That's okay. Still, whatever you make, 50% minimum to as much as 100% going back into marketing so that you can start to get people coming to you from paid marketing, which is the best form of marketing. Shoot, what are we doing? We're sitting and we're watching advertising. What that is telling us, when billions upon billions of dollars every year is going into advertising, that is telling us what we should be doing in our businesses. We should be advertising our businesses, and these companies aren't doing it for free. So any of that stuff out there that says get leads for free or what have you, you probably need to run from that. Yes, you can get leads without coming out of pocket, but you're going to spend time. I do some stuff still on YouTube, but it takes time for me to cut that content, edit that content, load that content, get it on YouTube, try to get it ranked, so on and so forth. I could just as easily go and buy traffic from YouTube. I would prefer to buy traffic because I'm going to spend money or I'm going to spend time. I'd rather spend the money because I can get the money back. Time, I can never get back. My gosh, this time is getting away. Gosh. All right. So here's the deal. You can earn up to $1 per hour for each hour that anyone in your 10-level organization watches promotional content. I want you to let that sink in. I want you to let that sink in. That means that everyone in your 10-level organization could be worth $10 a week or $40 a month to you, just over $40 a month when you map it out on an annual basis, okay? Now, it doesn't mean that everybody is going to be worth $40 a month to you, but the fact that everybody could be. So maybe somebody's not worth $40. They didn't do all their viewing, but you earn $28 because they're in your 10 level. Or you earn $2.62 because they're in your level. Or you earn $31 because they're in your level. Okay? All right. Now I want to give you some examples of just how powerful this can be. Because it was just 2 weeks ago, ladies and gentlemen, that I saw the first promotion about THW Global. When I saw it and I read the content immediately, I said, oh my gosh, this might be something. It might be crap, but it might be gold. I sent out a message to my audience via email. We had a webinar that night. Hey guys, I don't know if it's crap, could be crap, could be crap, could be crap. But it could be gold, could be gold. So since there's no financial risk, let's go on and get registered. Let's start building a team based on this, because if it is gold, this is going to be the biggest thing that any of us have ever built. Here's a person, they already have 51,000 people in their organization. Now this is dated by a few days, so this has grown quite a bit, I'm sure. 51,000 folks. All right, so let's do the numbers of everyone in their unilevel, I'm not going to say everyone's going to do $40, all right, a month. Let's just say that on average, because you're going to have some people that view 10 hours, you're going to have people that view 8, you're going to have people that don't view, okay? Let's just say that on average, the average person in their organization viewed 1 hour's worth of content a week. Ladies and gentlemen, this person here would be making $51,000 a week out of the gate. If you map that out, if it didn't grow any, but everybody just averaged 1 hour a week, that would be over a couple $100,000 a month. Now you might be saying, how in the world can that happen? Because this is a much bigger playing field than what we've dealt with in network marketing. The biggest company in network marketing does about $10 billion, $11 billion a year. Avon, Amway, they flip-flop between 1 and 2, okay? But that industry, or those products and services, as great as they are, they pale in comparison to the amounts of money that's being spent on advertising. And now what we're talking about is not just network marketers consuming the product, or even our neighbor next door consuming the product. We're talking about major potential advertisers that already have millions upon millions, in some cases billions of dollars for an advertising budget, okay? And now here's going to be this system, assuming it's gold, excuse me, that have captive eyes on these ads. People that are now excited to view the ads because they know that they're making money, and now excited to even patronize the advertisers because they know that in patronizing the advertisers make more money. So the advertisers want to continue to advertise with THW Global, and THW Global is paying us to view. And when they're paying us, and you're building an organization, that could be $51,000 a week out of the gate. If they're averaging 2 hours at $100,000 a week. This is the first model that I really believe that multiple people could generate 8 figures a year, 10 million plus a year. I want to show this one. This is so cool because I showed this on Tuesday, on our webinar Tuesday. One of our folks personally enrolled 270 folks, and they had a team as of Tuesday, and they sent me this right before we went on air with the webinar. They had just over 3,000 folks, just under 3,000 folks. I hit the same person just before we got on the webinar. Hey, give me another snapshot. Look at this. Look at this growth in 2 days. From Tuesday night to tonight, 600 folks have been at 500 and some odd folks have been added in the last 2 days. In the last 2 days, and we don't even know if it's gold yet. We don't even know if it's gold yet. Look at what this person has done personally. They personally enrolled 270 as of Tuesday. They're up to 318 personal enrollees now, and they have not spent a dime yet in advertising. They've got a huge list. That's what we want to talk to you about, helping you to build your responsive list. They've got a huge list, and ultimately, assuming this is gold, I already know that what this person is capable of doing. They're going to put a huge chunk of their revenue, because their revenue would far exceed $1,083 a month with their teammates starting to view. They're going to put a huge chunk towards paid marketing. So their personal numbers are going to go up. Their team numbers are going to go way, way up. Again, at 3,500 folks now, if everybody just viewed 1 hour, that's $3,500 a week, $14,000 a month. If they viewed 2 hours, that's $7,000 a week, $28,000 a month. It won't be long before there'll be a zero here for this particular person. This is why we're so passionate. We pray it's gold. We pray it's gold, but I want you to get that if she is gold, then that means that we generate revenue and she becomes a catalyst to ultimately develop multiple streams of income. Let me show one last one. The reason I want to show this one is because this is a retiree. I hope they're on the webinar. I know this retiree. I know them. This retiree referred one person, and this one person, as of Tuesday, had referred 156 people, and that 156 have referred, 742. So this retiree had 4,248 folks in their organization as of Tuesday. As of not long before we did the webinar, they were up to 5,100. So here we have a retiree who's not a big recruiter. Write this one down. One of my mentors said, you're one recruit away from an explosion. Write that one down. You're one recruit away from an explosion. All right. They only recruited one person on the first level. That one person recruited one person, which makes a person on the second level. But this one person here looks like they went to work. I'm not saying that's going to happen for you. All right. We want to build as if that doesn't happen, meaning we want to build with intent. We don't want to get lucky. This person just happens to be fortunate that somebody came into the organization and has gone wild with it. What might this happen for some other folks? I hope it does. I hope it does. But we want to build with intent. We want to build on purpose. What would this mean if 1 hour times these 5,000 folks, retiree, $5,000 a week, 20 grand a month? And if you say, I just can't see all of that. Well, see, here's the deal. Mark Zuckerberg with Facebook started off, everybody thought it was just free, right? Just free. Oh, I get to connect with my high schoolers. I get to post pictures and I get to find folk that I hadn't seen in years and years and years. And what we didn't know is that the whole time they were building this huge user base so they could start serving ads. And now this dude is worth $48.7 billion. One dude. So don't tell me that my buddy who's got 3,000 folks on his team, 3,500 folks in 2 weeks, doesn't deserve to make 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, $200,000, $1 million a month. When this dude is worth $48.7 billion as of June 28, what was he worth at the end of 2015? $40 billion. His net worth has gone up almost $9 billion. Is there enough money in advertising? You better believe it. Okay? All right, so now, let's talk to you. I don't have a lot of time. So this is what I want to do, all right? I want to go to at least about 15 past the hour because I took up about 15 minutes doing a quick recap, all right? So bear with me there, and then we'll start rounding third, and then we'll go into an optional Q&A. All right, so now, how do we build with intent? How do we build with intent? Even if, up to this point, we've not been successful building anything. That's why we're here, ladies and gentlemen. That is our objective. Teach you, give you the tools, the resources, the information, the training. Now, you'll have to execute. All right? So the first thing I want you to commit to is you are going to recapitalize your business, recap your business. I'll say recap a lot. Your business with 50 to 100% of your viewing income. That you're going to use that for tools, resources, and advertising. And we'll refer the tools that we use. We'll talk about the reason. When I say we'll refer, many of those tools will have an affiliate tie. So we'll recommend a tool, and then you'll get that tool from the person that you've joined in THW Global, so they get any referral credit. All right, let's talk about the 4 tenets of building your business. All right, and we might get a chance to hone in on one of these. Number one, we want to have a funnel-based system. Now, most of us in network marketing have only heard the word funnel or sales funnel, but we really haven't seen it in network marketing. You typically don't see it in network marketing. You see it from infopreneurs, people that are selling their own products and services. You see it with high-level internet marketers. Remember, we've been studying with some high-level internet marketers, and one of the things we've learned is, man, the power of having a funnel-based system, and we are developing for our audience. And our audience doesn't just mean those that we personally enroll. Our audience doesn't just mean those that are in our 10-level organization, okay? There's a lot of you that are here that are not in our 10-level organization, and that is fine, Charles. That is fine. That's fine. Okay, because I understand the laws of the universe. I want to get, and then get some more. But I understand the laws of the universe say that if I want to get, I got to give. I got to give, so that I can get. Okay, so we're going to talk about a funnel-based system. Hopefully we'll get into that a little bit on tonight. The purpose of a funnel-based system is to help you build a responsive list. Here's a no-no. Just sending out your THW Global link, just sending people to the replicated web page, that is a no-no. Now, if you don't know how to do lead capture pages now, if you don't have an autoresponder right now, then at least do that. But ultimately, if you do that and people join you as a result of, in your back office, you have the names and the email addresses. Ultimately, you want to connect with those folks and you want to get them to opt into an autoresponder, an email list or an SMS text list. We'll talk about that down the road. SMS, mobile marketing. We'll talk about that down the road. You want to get them opting in. Why? So that you own and control that list. You don't own and control the list in your back office. I remember in 2006, I'm with a network marketing company. We've got a team of thousands of folks. We're making really good money. We see some things we don't like with that company. That company did some things really wrong. And because I was on the leadership and the inner circle, I saw some stuff I didn't like. I had the opportunity to become a part owner in a new network marketing company. In order to do so, I had to resign my position with the previous company. So I resigned my position with the previous company. I had printed out my genealogy. I was not going to go to people I had not personally enrolled. That would be unethical. I was only going to connect with those that I had personally enrolled. Our attorney said, "You can't do that." What do you mean I can't do that? This is my team. I've traveled the country. I've blood, sweat, and tears, man. And in many cases, when I got on an airplane, I did it at my expense because my team in Houston, Texas, or my team in LA was just getting started, and they couldn't afford to bring me in, so I did it. What do you mean? What do you mean? He said, no. He said, that is property of the company. That's the company's database, not yours. So you ultimately want to get anyone that has enrolled with you opting into a list that you own and you control. That's number one. Number two, now going forward, when we launch all of our systems related to building out THW, okay, you won't just be sending people to a replicated web page. All right, you're going to be sending them to a funnel-based system where they give you their email address so that they're in your email list, or they give you a text number or cell phone number so they're in your SMS text messaging list. This is where most people miss it in marketing. You've heard it said that the money is in the list. That's only partially true, David. The money is in a responsive list. So when THW came across my desk 2 weeks ago, immediately I sent out an email to my list. I sent out a text message to my SMS text list. There's a dude in my email list who comes back to me and says, yeah, I saw that. I'm going to try it out, see if it works. Hey, send me your link. Because he's not only has been in my list, but I've consistently communicated with my list. Sometimes people open up the email, sometimes they don't. But I'm always in front of my email list with content. So what he says is, hey, I was going to do this anyway. Send me your link. I send him my link. 24 hours later, he's personally enrolled 192 folks. That's because of a list. Somebody sent me something where someone said that they had already personally enrolled 1,550 folks and already had over 10,000 folks on their team. Well, that's because that person has a massive list and they simply sent content out to their list. Funnel-based system is designed to help you build a responsive list. You should be taking notes now. These are the four major tenets of building any business. I don't care if you're building THW Global. I don't care if you're building a travel business. I don't care if you're building a weight loss business. These are the four key components. Number three is having compelling offers that you can share with your responsive list. Now, THW is an extremely compelling offer. Why? Here's the thing about a compelling offer. Make a note of this. You always want to have offers that address the pain and the frustrations of your target market. You want to have offers, key in on offers that address the pain, the frustrations. So think about people that are in your market. What's painful for them? Well, they're not making money. Okay, well, that's a reason that THW is so compelling, because a person can make money without doing the marketing. I want you to get good at marketing. I want you to get good at marketing, but ultimately people can make money without the marketing. What else are they paying with? They don't have a list. They don't have a list. Well, now all of a sudden, we're going to use a funnel-based system to really attract what we call a lead magnet, to really attract people into your system to hear about your compelling offer, which allows them to make money even if they're not good at recruiting or sponsoring or selling. Okay? That's a compelling offer. Something that addresses the pain and the anguish points of your target market. One of the things you want to understand is that nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. Also, people will do more to get away from pain, to alleviate the pain, to ease the pain, to get out of the pain. They'll do more to get out of the pain. They'll spend more to get out of the pain than they will actually spend for pleasure. Think this through. Everybody knows that if you eat a lot of fresh fruits and vegetables, you eat less meats, you eat less processed foods, you do some daily exercise, everybody knows that's a recipe for living healthier with less problems and what have you. So why do people eat the bad food? Well, yeah, I know, especially in the U.S., you know, they got stuff in there to get you addicted. I get that. I get that. I get that. Okay. But why aren't more people out doing daily exercise? Why aren't more people out eating more fresh fruits and vegetables and less of the bad stuff? Because they're not hurting right now. Let the pains come. Let a disease come. And now all of a sudden they're willing to make some changes. People will do more to get out of the pain. They'll spend more than they will to pursue pleasure. If they had eaten right, exercised right, it's not like I'm talking to them. I'm the one that needs to eat right. I'm the one that needs to exercise more. My whole point is we always want to have offers that address the pain and agony of our audience. And then number 4, driving high quality, laser targeted traffic to your funnel-based system where you capture the lead. You start developing a responsive list. We'll tell you some things that we're doing so that you'll have content to be able to share with your list. If you don't have content now, if you're never a content creator, you'll be able to leverage our content. Go to YouTube, look up THW, and look at the number of people that are already using our training or using our webinars. There's a reason why we never say our name on our trainings or our webinars, so that our folks can leverage the content. So I'm talking with one of our folks today. He's not even on our team. We crossed paths, and he said, I hope you don't mind, I'm using one of your webinars on my YouTube channel. No, I don't mind. And I was so elated to find out he's personally enrolled 73 folks, and he's never had success in building any type of business. Okay, let's move forward. All right, so what is a sales funnel? We're talking about funnel-based system. I know I won't get through all of this tonight. We'll pick it back up on next Thursday. So what is a sales funnel? All right, what is a sales funnel? A sales funnel is an automated sales process. Right now, there is no sales funnel for THW. I haven't seen anybody with any sales funnel for THW. THW does not have a sales funnel. We will be building out multiple sales funnels for our audience, because a sales funnel, number one, is an automated sales process. I am what's the word? Humbled that we've got folks here from South Africa, and it's 2 a.m. over there, and we've got folks from, I didn't hear all the countries, but we typically will have people from Australia, New Zealand, and I am extremely humble. The problem with only having a live webinar is everybody can't get on a live webinar. So it needs to be automated. We will have multiple automated presentations that hit various target markets. For instance, right now, Dennis, because you asked me to, I would have gotten to it, but I've gotten to it a little bit earlier. I'm working on right now, I'm scripting out right now. I'm hoping to record tomorrow, if not tomorrow, sometime maybe over the weekend, a funnel that's going to be designed for big business builders. People that have large organizations, large followings. Why? Because there's certain messaging to that group that we would use that we wouldn't necessarily use to retirees. Okay? Then we're going to have a funnel specifically for retirees, so that if you are prospecting some folks or you know some folks that are retired, there's a different type of message that we're going to use. Now, I've been fairly animated in tonight's webinar, but if I know I've got a message that's going out to 55, 60, 65, 70 somethings, I'm gonna be a little bit more subdued in my approach there, okay? All right, and there's going to be things we're going to talk about that specifically relate to retirees and the pains and the frustrations that retirees are dealing with, like Social Security if you're in the U.S., or like not having enough in your 401k or your pension plan, or like, for instance, in our retiree funnel, we're going to talk about what happened in Detroit, where at one point they were talking, because the city went bankrupt. At one point, they were talking about reducing pensions by something like 20 some odd %. Now, they came back and they recanted on that, but I forget what the numbers are. But there's an example. With a retiree funnel, we may talk about that part for a while. What? To accentuate the pain. What you want to do in marketing is you want to highlight the pain. You want to open up that wound. You want to pour salt in that wound. Tell them about the pain, the pain, the pain. It hurts. It hurts. I'm hurting. And then you come and you bring the salve. And you come and you bring the ointment. And you come and you bring the healing. Because people want to get out of pain, and you bring the ointment and the salve, guess what they'll do? They'll buy from you. They'll join you. So a sales funnel is an automated sales process. There'll be a sales process for the marketer, the network marketer, the struggling network marketer, so on and so forth. Okay. There'll be a sales funnel for the person that just wants a job. When we talk to the person that just wants a job, that just wants to watch, we're not going to go in that presentation and talk about 10-level organization or what have you. We'll talk about the job. And then we'll say, hey, if you want to learn how you can actually scale this to a business where some folks could scale to a 6 or 7 or 8-figure business, then, we'll have a call to action. How many of you see value, excuse me, I feel a cough coming on, in having multiple automated sales processes? If you see value, put a V in your questions box for value. Fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So a sales funnel is an automated, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. I'll still do live webinars because I love doing them. But for the efficiency of building a global enterprise, it has to be automated. All right, so an automated sales process that educates your prospect about the solutions that you have to their problems. That's a sales funnel, an automated sales process that educates your prospect about the solutions that you have to their problems. This past Tuesday, we did a webinar. And as I went back over it, I said, I've got to make some changes for this coming Tuesday because I didn't accentuate your pain enough. I did not pour salt on the marketer's pain. I talked about the pain of the advertisers, that they are that they're having a hard time getting their content in front of captive eyes. What I didn't do a good enough job was to accentuate the pain of the marketer, the pain of the person that is struggling to pay the bills, struggling for mortgage, struggling trying to figure out how they're going to send their kids to college. And because they didn't have the resources to start setting $200-300 a month for college education, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, now their children are coming out of college with a whole bunch of debt. See, that is what we mean by educating your prospect on the solutions. You've got to accentuate what the problem is, pour salt in the wound, so that people are wanting the solution. Nobody wants to be sold, but everybody wants to buy. That is a sales funnel. That is what we will be building out for our audience, multiple sales funnels. Let's see if I have time to do. Okay, let me just do this, and then we'll start, and then we'll pick this back up on next week. In traditional business, most of your traditional businesses have a sales funnel. Okay, it may work a little bit differently than what we're talking about when we're talking about building an internet-based enterprise. But here's an example: you go to McDonald's, you order something from the value menu, and what do they immediately say? Would you like fries with that? Would you like fries with that? What is that? That is a funnel. They got you into the door. They did some advertising. They got you into the door. You went and you ordered, and then they offer you an upsell. All right. In internet marketing, you see this all the time where you buy a product for $47, and then there is what they call an OTO, a one-time offer, where you can now get another product that helps you with the first product that you just bought, helps accentuate the first product that you just bought, because these internet marketers know that a percentage of the ones that bought the first offer are going to buy the second offer. They already have the credit card out. Okay, so that is an example of a sales funnel. Would you like fries with that? Would you like, whatever with that? A grocery store may say something like, would you like to apply for a credit card? Because if you apply for their credit card and you start putting debt on their credit card, they're going to make some money on the interest on that debt. Okay, so we see sales funnels all the time around us. The challenge with network marketers is that most network marketers, and certainly not the network marketing companies, you can't ever expect the network marketing company to do this. All right, we're operating without properly structured sales funnels. Let me do this, and then we'll finish, and we'll pick this back up on next week, because I'll start to show you the anatomy of the funnels that we'll put into place, designed to help you not only get people to join you in THW, not only to get those that join you in THW to view more, which means you make more, they make more, you make more, but how we plan on helping you to seamlessly, in one spot, in one place, develop multiple streams of income. I'm going to do this real quickly, all right, and I'm going to come back next week and pick up from this section. There's a particular funnel that I am in now. I'm not going to say what the funnel is. I'm not going to say what the product or service is, because we want to, obviously you're here for THW, okay? So I'm not here to promote anything else, but I want you to understand the concept. All right, so here's what happened. The funnel started off with a lead magnet, all right? I saw an ad, and the ad spoke to a pain that I had. All right, not a physical pain, but a marketing pain that I had. Okay? Remember, you want to pour salt into the wound. Pour salt into the wound. Okay? So the lead magnet was for me to come onto a webinar so that I could discover the solution to the pain that I have, and that most of you would also have. Now, when I opted into a webinar funnel. I'm going to share with you going forward why you're going to want to have, and one of the funnels that we will have will be a webinar funnel, okay? And I don't have time to really cover it, but here's one quick thing. When people opt into a lead capture page, a lot of people give you phony information, because they know typically if you opt in, you'll see what's on the other side, let's say like a sales video, and in many cases you can see that sales video without giving good information. When people opt in for a webinar, however, They give you good information because they're expecting to get the link to the webinar. So they give you a good email address. So I can tell you that when I have done campaigns getting people to opt in for a webinar versus doing a campaign where I'm just getting people to opt into a regular lead capture page, guess which one gives me a much higher opt-in ratio? The webinar. So we'll be talking to you about one of the funnels we'll be setting up that you'll optionally have the option to use will be a webinar funnel. Okay, so I give them good content. There's a webinar, and I attended the webinar. Throughout the webinar, they poured salt on the wound, salt on the wound, salt on the wound. I was ever reminded of the problem that I was having in my own marketing, and they were telling me about the problem, and now they had a solution. So by the time they get to the solution, they did such a phenomenal job of educating me about their solution to my problem that I then bought their primary offer. So I came into the funnel as a lead. I then attended the webinar. The webinar showed me how their product, how their system, how their service could help address a pain point that I had in my business. I bought the primary offer. Okay, so now they've generated a commission from that primary offer. But it doesn't stop there. Once I got into their system, they start sharing with me how they promote their offer. The fact that I got their offer also allowed me to be a reseller, an affiliate. Okay, so now I can promote this particular offer. Again, I'm not going to say anything about that offer on this webinar because that's not the purpose of this webinar. Okay, all right, so now I can promote their particular offer. So now what they do is they show me the tools that they use to share their offer with me. Now, it was optional. I didn't have to get the tool, but I know the tool worked because the tool is what got me to their funnel that allowed me to hear about their offer. So guess what? I then got what? I got the tool, which was their secondary offer. That was a second income stream. Would you like fries with that? You just joined THW, fantastic. Would you like fries with that? Now, when I got this tool was a third-party tool. They were an affiliate of the third-party tool. So I go and I get the third-party tool from their affiliate referral link, which means they generated some additional revenue. So now when I get the tool has a one-time offer. Well, by this time, they did such a good job educating me about this tool and why the tool would help me in promoting the offer that I had just made a purchase of, that I knew I was going to get the tool. And I knew there might even be an upsell. So there was an upsell. There was a one-time offer that tool, that third-party tool had. And guess what? I got that tool. Nobody coerced me, but I saw that it would be a solution to a marketing problem. And so they referred me to a third party. They are an affiliate of the third party. I purchased from the third party, what I'm saying it's a secondary offer. From the third party has an upsell. I purchased that so that the original people that I purchased from, they get commissioned on that too. So now they've made 3 sales from one committed customer. Then in their training, there was another tool that they talked about. Didn't have to get it. They never strong-armed me. All they did was show me how it would be a solution to a problem. They never sold me on anything. I bought, and I bought excitedly because I knew that if it was working for them, it got me into their funnel. It got me buying stuff from their funnel. I knew if it had me doing that I could turn around and use that tool. By the way, for some of you that have been in our email list, have you noticed a different look in our video content of late that we've sent out. You don't want to know where that comes from? It comes from the tools that they said, hey, this is what we're using in our business. They didn't sell me on anything. They didn't sell me on anything. They didn't sell me on anything. Maybe we shouldn't call it a sales funnel. We should call it a buying funnel. Now, next week, I'm going to share with you the anatomy of the funnels that we're building out for our audience so that you have the lead magnet. And you're starting to capture the lead. That's your lead that you own and control. You don't know what to say to the lead. That's okay. We're going to have you back there too, because you're going to be able to leverage content that we have specifically and are specifically creating for this offer. Specific, so that if somebody opts in, they want to hear more about THW. Maybe they've joined you in THW, but they don't really know what the heck is going on. And now you've got content to begin to share with them in bite-sized pieces. Because one of the ways you make money in this industry, or one of the ways you increase your revenues, is you can always go out and you can get more customers, get more recruits. But what if you could take the existing customers, the existing recruits you have, and maximize that relationship? That's what do you want fries with that? That's where that comes from. Because when you go into that value menu, there's probably not a lot of profit margin in that hamburger that you bought for $1. But there's a lot more profit margin in those fries and in that soft drink and in that sundae and in that apple pie. Lot. I used to deliver pizzas, and I knew that there was some profit margin in the pizzas. But my gosh, when you ordered those, would you like breadsticks with that? Would you like cheese sticks with that? Because there was the profit margin. There was the profit margin. Would you like a 2-liter Coke with that, sir? Man, would you like a 2-liter Sprite with that? Because there was the profit margin. So next week, we're going to break down the anatomy of the funnel process that we're developing for our audience, which is why we call this the funnel blueprint. All right, so hopefully you'll have a better understanding of our branding for that, the funnel blueprint. Okay. Boy, I wish I had time to cover that tonight, but I just don't have time. So this is what we're going to do. I'm 6 minutes past the time that I asked for. You guys gave me some grace, and I appreciate that. So everything we're talking about is designed to help you build. Let's go back real quickly to the, oh man, hold on. Okay, we're good. I'm going to put up our objective again, and then we're going to go into Q&A. Hey, do me a favor, in your questions box, if you are with me, maybe you got it all, maybe you didn't, because this is a new concept for most of us. I get that. But if what you heard, what you retained, what you got, if that sounds good to you, if that's something you want to incorporate in your business, put a W in there for I'm with you. Funnel Doc, I'm with you, man. I'm with you, dude. I'm with you, bald head dude. Fantastic. And I don't care who your sponsor is. I don't care whose team you're on. You're going to be able to leverage everything that we're doing, despite your sponsorship, despite what team you're on, what have you. Okay? Fantastic. Oh, wow. A lot of W's. Thank you. Okay. All right. So let me stop there for tonight. Next Thursday, we're going to pick back up, and we're going to talk about the anatomy of the funnels that we are building out, so you'll understand how that's going to work, so that you will be able to generate multiple streams of income as you are leveraging THW. So we'll talk about that on next week. Give me a moment. Well, family, I really trust that you enjoyed the webinar, that we brought value to your business. Listen, it doesn't matter who is your sponsor. It doesn't matter your THW Global sponsor. It doesn't matter what team or organization you're in. If you find value in our training, our perspective, our presenting, then I want you to be able to plug into any and everything that we're doing. Now, there are a lot of leaders that they have certain systems or things that they do that might be exclusive to their teams, and I'm certainly not going to foo-foo on any of that. One of the things that we've done that has helped us become successful in this industry is really open things up. No matter who your sponsorship is, no matter who your line of leadership, we certainly respect your sponsorship line and certainly respect your leadership line. But if you find value in what we're doing, again, this is our objective, ladies and gentlemen, is to assist you in building a long-term sustainable business. A long-term sustainable business. If THW Global is gold, you will find no a person more passionate about sharing this message. But even with THW Global being gold, let's assume it is, okay? We want you to build a long-term sustainable business, in which case you'd understand that THW Global is merely an extension of your business. I want to help you build a global internet and even in time mobile marketing business conglomerate. So we want to help you build a long-term sustainable business with multiple streams of income across multiple niches. When I started going to some very high level mastermind groups and started connecting with some very high level, not six-figure earners, not seven-figure earners, but eight-figure earners. What allowed them to scale to 8 figures? And what I discovered is that they had multiple streams of income across multiple niches. And so we want you to have that so that you have that peace of mind. See, I've been there where I'm promoting with a company and I have all of my eggs in that one basket, and we made a lot of money, and then all of a sudden, that company's not there, or something happens, or what have you. And I'm certainly not suggesting that's going to happen with THW Global. What I'm suggesting is that if THW Global is gold, there's no reason why you should not be able to develop a very powerful income via THW Global. But in developing that income, that now gives you more resources to start to develop multiple streams of income across multiple niches. Okay, so we want to teach you how to market. We want to teach you to become more of a professional marketer. Here's something one of my mentors taught me, and we'll start rounding third in a moment. One of my mentors taught me, he said, if you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you are marketing. You see, I showed you in the webinar some folks, somebody who's already has a team of over 50,000 people, and that's dated by a few days, so there might be 60, 70,000 by now. I showed you someone who had a team of, what were they at, about 3,500 now, okay? See, those folks leading those teams, they know how to market, all right? If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing, all right? So just like you have those folks, the haves that have those large teams, you've got a lot of people sitting on zeros or onesies and twosies, all right? But the reverse of that is also true. If you don't know how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. The reverse of that is also true. Once you learn how to market, it doesn't matter what you're marketing. So what we want to teach you is how to take this THW Global and this income that can be generated by viewing, recapitalize it into your business so that you have the proper tools and resources, and you can participate in paid traffic campaigns, and then you start building a team with that type of culture. And then anything else that comes across your desk, just like THW Global came across my desk, that you believe is worthwhile for your audience, now you already have a responsive list waiting to hear from you because you've already helped them make money with THW Global. And so that ultimately, you have the financial freedom, you have the time freedom to hotly pursue the passions of your heart. Whatever those passions may be. Your passions may not make you any money. So let's go on and answer the money question so that you can wake up every morning living and breathing and eating your passion. That's our objective, ladies and gentlemen. That's our objective. All right, so listen. If you want to follow what we're doing, doesn't matter what your line of sponsorship happens to be, okay? And we're not looking to usurp your sponsorships training or your line of leadership or what have you. Whatever they have going for you, plug into. If you want to use us as a supplement, we're here for you. Go to thwglobalwebinar.com. That'll get you into our general list. We'll never send out personal referral links to that list. Never, never, never. We will send out our, when we're sending out any recorded trainings that we send out to our audience, it'll be through that list. When we'll have other trainings that come out, it'll be to that list. If THW Global makes an important post, sometimes people, they get busy in their lives and they may miss some things. We'll be there to let our list, let our following know. And our following doesn't just mean people that are in our sponsorship line. And then very soon, as we round third here, we're going to be launching our funnel blueprint. This is going to be a marketing and a training portal. It's going to house a number of different sales funnels that are designed for the THW Global message to various groups. So there might be one that is more geared toward that messaging. It's geared toward retirees. One is geared towards the network marketer, the internet marketer. One is geared for the job seeker, so on and so forth. The messaging of each of those is a little bit different. All right, and so maybe you focus in on the job market, maybe you're focusing in on the retirement market, maybe you're focusing in on the overall general network marketing, make money online niche market, what have you. You'll be able to leverage that. We're going to have something called a value vault. What is a value vault? A value vault is a growing vault of valuable training in bite-sized pieces that you can send out to your audience via email, via text. You can tweet it out, you can Facebook it out, so that you have valuable content to share with your audience. Most people are not content creators, and this is one of the reasons I don't mention my name in our webinars and our training. So you can leverage that value vault content to bring value to your audience, so that they ultimately come back to you and not only join you in THW Global, but anything else that you might have up your sleeve. You might have a great weight loss product that you want folks to know about. You might have a great nutritional product. You might have a product of your own. You might have your own blog or what have you. Again, our objective is to assist you in building really a global internet business enterprise, with THW Global being a main catalyst. All right, so we will see you on our next webinar. Hey, get this out. Get this out to your teammates. Get this out to folks that are following you. All right, get this out to them so that they hear this message and they are now viewing more because they want to increase their income, their viewing income, and then they are taking a percentage of that income and they're investing it in marketing. All right, the right tools, the right resources, paid traffic. Imagine having a whole team of people that they are reinvesting back in their business, and they're listening to your message, so that whether it's THW Global, whether it's ABC, DEF, GHI, you've got a team of folks. That's how does somebody, doggone, how does somebody have 50,000 folks in 2 weeks, 3 weeks time? Because that person invested in their business. That didn't happen by accident. That happened on purpose. That was intentional. They've been building for years, I would imagine, and bringing value to the audience for years. Well, how do you do that if you have never made any money in this industry? What you do is you follow us and you leverage our content until you're at a point that you can cut your own content. If you ever get to that point, that may not be something that's your skill set. Okay, so we'll see you, ladies and gentlemen. We love you. We appreciate you. Let's change the world together, starting with yours.